Hello guys and welcome back in this new video on our C++ series where we're going to talk about a function in C++. Okay, we're going to study up the foundation, how to define, to declare, or how to initialize a function with C++. Okay, a function in C++ is a reusable block of code that performs a specific task when called. Okay, let me move on this document quickly. Okay, I have here a program on the left side without the usage of a function, and on the right side I have the same program where I'm using a function. You can see that it's exactly the same section, but on the right side I've stuck the instruction, the long instruction just in a function, and I can call the function and the program just going to be executed quickly. And the advantage with that is I can call the same function for many other sections of my code if I need them. Okay, so that's a little bit it about what function is used for and how it can be helpful in our program, mainly in the large program. Okay, so let's see what kind of representation we have with function. We can define our function with no parameter. This is the case right there. So we're going to start by defining the return type of our function, the name of our function. We open parentheses, then we're going to create a block statement where we're going to define our statement, and we're going to have our return 0 at the end. So you can call this space between the curly braces the body of our function. Okay, so this is how a function with no parameter is looking generally. Okay, we can have some specification, but for now it should be good as a definition for a function with no parameter. Okay, so let me move on that one right now. I have this example with no return type void. Okay, so a void function is a function that doesn't return anything. Okay, or you can make it return something optionally, but you don't have to. Okay, a void function is a function that you can run without a return option. Okay, so the structure is pretty easy. You just have void, which is the no return type. Okay, the function name and the parentheses. After that, you open your block statement where you're going to define the body of your function, exactly like the one that we talked a couple seconds ago. And the third option that I would like to share with you is this option for function with multiple parameter. So I'm using void again, function name, which is the name of our function, and inside parentheses, I'm going to provide the parameter that I'm going to use in order to pass some specific parameter when I call a function. So for this case, I have integer a, and string b. Okay, but I just want to let you know before to continue that you don't have to give a precision about the name of the integer. Okay, you can just precise the type, and integer and string is, and it's still going to work. Okay, and inside the block you're going to provide your body, your statement, and your return optional. Okay, so next I'm going to show you something. Next, I'm going to show you something quickly. If you come on Google or on your favorite browser and you type that's cppreference.com, you should arrive on this page. Okay, once you arrive on this page, you should be able to see all the default function that C++ already offer to us. Okay, we have some useful mathematic function, for instance. Okay, let me show you a little bit. So define in either this preprocessor, and you will be able to use all these mathematic function, this mathematic yeah, functionality. Okay, you can see the exponent. We have the power somewhere over there that I used to work with. The power is really powerful. raise a number to the given power. Okay, so there's a lot sin, attention, sin hyperbolic, and so on. Okay, so you can come on this site and you should be able to see a lot of function that C++ have defined by default, and you just take them and use them and get your work done. Okay, so let's run now on our Spotlight IDE. Okay, I have my first function right there. Okay, I'm going to start with this first function, which is a void function param test with a parameter integer, uh, and I pass by reference formal. I didn't talk about it yet. I'm going to come back on it soon. Okay, but I would like to share this with you. What does that mean? Pass by reference or pass by value through a function. Okay, so I have this function where I've defined the block, the body. I'm going to see out formal. I've defined formal equal 100. Okay, and finally I'm going to see out formal. Okay, so in my integer main, okay, I've defined another integer actual, and I've defined it to 60. I'm going to see out it. You're going to see that I'm going to have 60 here, 60 here. But when I'm going to pass the parameter test actual over there, you're going to see that what I'm going to have should be this value, okay? Because I've passed it by reference. After that, I'm going to take this out and show you how it's going to work when I pass it by value. Okay. So after that, I'm going to return actual, and we have our return 0. So let me save this, compile it, and execute it. So I'm going to build it and execute it. Okay. We're going to follow exactly the same process that we used to during our previous video. Okay. So let's do that quickly. Reboot function, reboot our program, and execute. So you see, when I execute it, I have 16, 16. But even if I've passed that parameter here, even if it's 60, I still have all 100 that I've defined as a constant in the void function. Okay, that's because I've passed the parameter by reference. Let me take that n character quickly and compile and execute again. You're going to see that right now it's going to be different. Okay, it's going to be different because when we pass by value we just got a copy. Okay, since when we pass by reference we got the memory address. Okay, so you see now when I pass the test. You see, I passed a param test actual. I have 100 only on that one because it's going to rate inside there. But when I continue, I'm trying to see out actual again. You see that I still have 60, right? Because I just get a copy, took my function, and it's the constant that I've defined that is showing up. Okay. So let me do something else quickly. Okay, let me do something else quickly. I'm going to wipe this out, save it. Okay, and I'm going to run the command again. You're going to see that everything going to be different. Okay, build and execute, and you see our output is different because I didn't have any. I don't have a constant anymore on my voice function, so it's pretty easy. Everything was normally, even if I pass I pass them, I pass my variable by value. So it's just awesome. I'm gonna comment this and move on another function that I've defined here. So let me comment this. So let me uncomment quickly what I got here. Okay. So this function is an integer, is a function that is returning an integer, okay? And we're going to declare it as add number function, okay? With two parameters, the type of type integer, okay? As I said before, you don't have to give a position about the name of your variables that you uh, about your parameter, okay? You don't have to provide the name. You don't have always to provide the name. So I just have integer and integer, then prototype, okay? I've decided here that we call this process prototyping process, okay? So you can see that I just define my function, but I didn't implement anything. We call that process prototype, okay? And downstairs, after my integer function, I've implement my function with all the detail, okay? So integer A, integer B, and I have defined the return result that we should have, A plus B. So normally this is a function where you pass two parameters and the result that you have returned is the addition between your two parameters, okay? So let's see what we get in our main function here. I've defined the integer, the result variable of type integer, and I've initialized it to 0. And I have a result that I've defined as well, a variable, and I've defined it equal to add number 100 and 300. Okay, so this is the process to call a function. Okay, it's almost the same that we got in the previous example. Okay, but specifically on this case, I'm going to stock my result here in the variable result, and I'm going to see out that variable after that. Okay, so let me save this and just compile and execute our function, our new function. So we're going to build and execute after compile. Four hundred. You see? So we got the addition between 100 and 300, which should be uh, which should be 400. Okay. So that's a little bit it about the basic foundation that I would like to share with you concerning function with C++. If you have learned something in this video on C++, please like and subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate your time to watch this video until the end, and hopefully see you on the next episode. Bye.